And so you were determined to not only join the Navy but be in submarines.
Exactly. And since the time I was a kid, I decided that I was going to be a submarine sailor.
And where did you get your submarine training then?
New London, Connecticut.
You were part of?
I was part of Spritz's Navy.
Spritz's Navy. And what's Spritz's Navy?
Spritz's Navy was Spritz was the chief petty officer who ran the submarine school in New London, Connecticut, and Spritz was a gung-ho Marine drill sergeant type of a petty officer. You had to graduate from Spritz's Navy before you can get on any submarine out of New London.
Well, when you left New London, did you go? Where did you go from there?
Okay, when I was transferred from New London Submarine Base. I was assigned to the USS Bowfin. She was just launched from the shipyards in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I was assigned to her just after she was launched.
So you were part of the original commissioning crew?
Yes, I was.
Wonderful. Well, how many patrols did you make with Bowfin?
I made 3 war patrols. 3 war patrols with Bowfin.
And what were your duties generally while you were on board the submarine?
I was electrician's mate, and we reported, of course, to the chief electrician's mate on board, and we were responsible for all electrical equipment on board. And during maneuvering, underway when there were nothing else to do, you had your regular watch. I worked in the maneuvering room. I was like the driver. We put the power to the propellers to make it go.
And so when you went to general quarters, where were your battle stations?
In general quarters, usually the maneuvering watch was either a couple of first-class petty officers. I was on battle stations surface. I was on the 3-inch gun, and on battle station submerged, I was assistant to the plotting officer in the control room.
Are there any events that happened while you were on board Bowfin that particularly stand out in your memory?
Yeah, there's a couple, but as you talk, it comes back to you. I can remember when we finally came from Portsmouth and down to New London for sea trials, and we were okayed for to go out on patrol. We sat in the back channel for 3 days and slipped out one night down to Panama. Went through the Panama Canal, and a day out of Panama, we picked up a hurricane that traveled with us all across the Pacific until we got to Brisbane, Australia. We stayed in Australia for, I guess we were there for close to a week, and then went out on patrol up into the South China Sea. We were on patrol for 28 days. Never saw a thing. Just chased low-flying clouds, and finally one night we ran into a 9-ship convoy. Commander Willingham was the captain at that time. We got in the midst of this 9-ship convoy, and we either sank or damaged just about every ship in the convoy. That stood out quite a bit in my mind. Other than that, on all the other patrols, we were up throughout the Celebi Sea. We did a lot of work with the guerrillas in the Philippines. Coming out of Australia, we would drop off mines and ammunition and money to the guerrillas. And on one patrol, I'm sure you've interviewed, I don't know if you've interviewed Sam Graccio. Okay, I was on board when we picked up Sam Graccio and a few other people that escaped from that Davao prison camp. But I'll never forget when we first pulled into Lingayen Gulf, the cook, Charlie Brown is sitting here, but I don't think you weren't on board on the first one. Yeah, we were on the cook made up a bunch of ham sandwiches to give to the Indians that came out with their bancas, the canoes to take all the ammunition on board, and they are Muslims and they're not allowed to eat ham. And when one of them, I was standing on deck when one of them took a bite and it just went wild. Everybody was looking to kill the cook. So things happen, fun things and bad things happen. We took a lot of depth charges. We sank quite a few ships. I sailed with the greatest crew in the Navy.